wall technique, same thing that you're doing, which is I have these outer walls now, and I'm going to treat those as a group, but I'm going to leave them the way that they are for now. I'm going to make a new 3D game object, a cube, and I'm just going to call this wall. It's just a simple, I might even call it a 3 by 3 by 1. I might even like include the dimensions of it so I get a sense of what it is. So that I can pick this out of my hierarchy if I need to. And by 3, I'm just using the X scale and the Y scale, and I'll leave Z at 1. So again, I'm holding down the command key as I lift this up. Actually, I want that much longer for what I'm going to do. And my position actually wasn't right. I created that in kind of a funny space, but that's okay, I'll fix that. I'll make this 5, but that's completely, up to you how you want to handle this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to zero out or round off these numbers at least, so that I'm not starting at such an odd placement. I'll zoom in on it. Now I'll hold down the control key again and move that up. If you're not working in whole numbers, if you decide to make a wall that's like a half meter, just cut your snap distance to half of whatever your unit of measurement is. So right now I'm being conscious that 1 meter is effectively, that smallest common denominator that I'm using. Okay, and because of that, my snap is half of that in case the math works out to where I need to have things fit together in a specific way. So I'm going to borrow this kind of dreary wall texture. I'm going to change the name of it just to reflect the size of it because that might be useful later. And I'll duplicate this and then rotate it. Now I'm going to make just a couple of very simple object combinations out of this. So I have a T. I'm going to select these two and duplicate them and option drag while I move them over. And I'll select one of them and just command drag. So making a little L here. And I think I can make a lot with just those two things. I can always pull another segment out if I want to. So now what I'm going to do is, thinking in terms of kind of this modular design, this rapid prototype, I'm going to create an empty game object. And I'm going to call this an L wall. I'll create another empty game object. And I'll call this a T wall. Now, these game objects happen to have been made at 0, 0, 0, okay, which is okay. But if I take this L wall, these are the two pieces, I'll shift select and then drop them into the L wall. The L, its Y, so the empty game object, its height value is set at 0, but the contents are sitting at ground level. Okay, so if I go into any one of these two, you can see that they're actually sitting at Y2, which in the world space would equate to 2, but every child object references its parent, where its placement is. So if I were to move the child over a meter, my L wall still would not move in space, right? So just to demonstrate, or at least its coordinates wouldn't. So to demonstrate that, I'll lift this up. If I go back to my L wall, it's still at 0, 0, 0, okay? This piece moved up along the Y, but it's still referencing its parent object. Like the parent becomes its world, okay? That becomes its world space. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I don't know if this is a good decision. It might make more sense to have this object at a different Y height, but I'm just going to go with it for now. It'll be fine. I don't foresee any major issues with it. So I have the T wall and the L wall, and I'm just going to option click to move that over, and now I'm just going to start duplicating. So I'll Command D, and I could rotate these. And I'll just throw a few of them inside the scene. Okay, so here's a little glitch. I definitely don't want this. You can see that the parent space right here was made at 0, 0, 0, and because I threw the children in at a placement that was offset from 0, 0, 0, their center position is now way over here. Okay, I can still line things up. Yes, Alex?
Usually to counter that, I double click on the thing, then the object, then create a
Yep.
game object in the middle of that object.
That's a good strategy. So if you caught what Alex said, I'll move this over, and I'll use one of these as an example. If you double click, now that's framed, and so the next thing that you make, I'll make a cube, it occupies the same position as the thing that you double clicked on. Okay, so that can be useful. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to zero out their position. And I'll separate this one and just kind of slide it over. I think that was an L, wasn't it? Yeah, that was an L. So I'll reconfigure that.
And they're occupied.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So I now have this, L wall, and again, I'll, maybe flip this. Okay. So I got these little pieces parts now that we can just kind of fling around and do different things with. So I won't spend too much time. I'm just going to duplicate this one more time. Hold down the command key and drag this over, and maybe say -90 to flip it around. Okay. So you can be as creative as you want in this workspace, but I just wanted a few things to kind of muddy up the space so that we have something that we can work with. So let's continue to build that out. Okay, we'll take a few minutes and do that.